happen. Now, let me go to the tweet of what President Trump posted on Truth Social this morning. The world is reacting to it. A lot of people are not happy. A lot of people are curious. Some people are saying this is good. But I would say a lot of the people are probably on, this is crazy what's about to happen today. J.D. Vance said something this morning that it's probably coming to an end. A whole civilization, President Trump said on Truth Social, a whole civilization will die tonight. Never be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change, where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary, wonderful can happen. Who knows? We will find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. How do you interpret that tweet?
I think that Trump is trying to go for maximum leverage in negotiation. But the reality is that the Iranians will not back down, and American forces already assembled in the Middle East. So I think that we will see a ground invasion as early as this weekend. And it'll be a multi-vector ground invasion, meaning that right now the Americans are attacking Karg Island, which is where Iran will export 90% of its oil from. And so the Americans intend on seizing Karg Island and strangling the Iranian economy. There will probably be an attack on Qassam Island as well in order to wrestle control of the Strait of Hormuz. There will also be an attack on the Iranian coastline in order to scout out air defenses. So I think that we are approaching a major escalation over the next few days.
So try to decode this, because the average person who reads this, they say, who talks like that? You know, what do you mean a whole civilization will die tonight, never brought back again? But if you're somebody that's, you seem like a pattern recognition type of guy, and you kind of watch how people speak, and we know this is how he speaks, right? He's not the most predictable guy. He's got predictable side, but also unpredictable side. Decode what he's saying here. Is this his last chance of negotiation for there not to happen? Is this his last chance of saying, I hope somebody says, hey, let's go out there and negotiate with them? Because Pakistan tried to bring the peace deal on both sides, and U.S. declined it, and so did Iran. So if you were to decode this a little bit more on where President's mind's at, what would you say?
Well, I would say that Trump has a history of working in reality TV. He thinks in terms of television. He asks himself, what will draw attention? What will look good on TV? What will get people very emotional and afraid and anxious? So he spent a lot of time in the World Wrestling Entertainment with Vince McMahon. They had a feud, a television feud, and that's really how you speak in the WWE. You are rhetorical, you are bombastic, and you try to instill fear and rage in people. And so what Trump is trying to do is he's trying to huff and puff. It's really flexing. The other issue that's very worrying right now is that Trump has surrounded himself with advisors who are psychopaths, and they're not actually relaying to him good strategic advice. So, for example, what just happened this weekend was that Trump announced the rescue of a downed American pilot. And if you watch the press conference yesterday, he thought it was tremendous success and was very proud of the military for doing the impossible, going deep into enemy lines and rescuing a wounded pilot. And this is a great tribute to the professionalism and self-sacrifice of the American military, especially the special forces. But on Twitter, on X, on social media, what people are saying is that this was actually not necessarily a successful pilot rescue operation. It seems that evidence is emerging that this was a failed seizure, a failed attempt to seize Iran's enriched uranium in the Isfahan power plant. And if that is the case, then that was an extremely risky mission, and it's very consequential because America lost about $300 million worth of planes and equipment in this failed raid. So my concern is that Trump has surrounded himself with advisors who feed his ego. And Trump himself believes that just by flexing, just by taking a very tough negotiating position, he can bully the Iranians into a compromise. So I think that we are in a very precarious situation right now.
What do you think is the worst case that could happen, the best case? Walk me through what, and by the way, just out of curiosity, would you consider yourself like if we're in July of 2024, would you say you were a supporter of Trump? Like you wanted to see him win?
I'm pretty politically neutral, but in July 2024, I was very confident Trump would win, and I felt that America needed a change. So if I were American and I had the opportunity to vote in November of 2024, I would have voted for Trump over Biden.
Got it. That's very important. Right. That's very important for the audience to know that, because I don't think you've revealed that, because your criticism is just what you think is going to happen, but you still would have chosen a Trump over a Biden or a Kamala. You know, this whole thing with Valuetainment and PBD Podcast started with a phone, me and Mario. That's it. And it grew today to, 15 million subscribers almost and 164 full-time employees. And that relationship, or you watching us and supporting us, wouldn't happen without you. But did you know 51% of you that watch the content are not subscribed to the channel? And it would mean the world to us if you could press that subscribe button and notification. Why? It allows us to grow, hire more, do bigger interviews, have a bigger team, and deliver a better product to you. So if you haven't yet, if you don't mind, press that subscribe button. It would mean the world to us. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.